It was the greatest day he ever had. He was catching waves, at one with his board, until it wasn't. These are the few, the fearless, the ambitious. They are the ones not afraid to reach for unattainable heights, knowing they will most often end up in the depths. They have honed their skills to a fine edge and go for it, even though they most often fail, and fail again. In fact, failure is the only option. These are the members of Fail Army. When attempting anything, there's that voice deep inside you saying, "You can do it." Just remember that sometimes that voice is just messing with you. Yeah. His inner voice said he could do it, but his outer body wasn't listening. His inner voice needs to speak louder.
I'm recording.
George knew he could do it because his mom told him he could. So it would have been nice if he did the same for his mom.
Oh.
Encouragement really is necessary. Most people punch it with their fist. There's a reason for that. His only goal in life was to snowmobile across Munson Creek. His life was now complete. Before becoming a Bronco-busted cowboy, he opted to try a mechanical bull first. It probably saved his life. Karen had a lot going for her. She was pretty, smart, athletic. The one thing she just couldn't seem to overcome was her complete and utter lack of balance. Opus did everything ass backwards, and on occasion, it worked for him. Doing things the regular way has never worked for Opus. It is important to remember that confidence is not the same as skill. Confidence alone will, however, guarantee you a place in the Fail Army.
Oh.
And now it is time for the Fail Army Pet Detective. It was 5 o'clock on a Saturday, and Jimmy came home to a sight he hadn't counted on.
Okay, what happened here?
Looked like spilled tissues.
Looks like we've got some spilled tissues. Somebody got into the tissue box.
Yes, someone got into the tissue box, but who?
Was it you, Rudy? Did you get into, Rudy? Did you get into the tissue box?
Rudy looked guilty. But what about Willow?
How about you, Willow? Did you get into the tissue box?
Caught red-handed.
You're not crying, you're not talking.
Oh, boy.
You've been sneaking, haven't you?
Some cases practically solve themselves. Willow still had evidence hanging from her chin.
What happened?
What happened?
Look how easy. Look at how easy that came off.
You got a beard, young lady. You got a beard.
Another open and shut case solved by the Fail Army Pet Detective. Everybody is trying to come up with the next big thing. The hard part is coming up with something that will catch on, because not everything does. Tired of fishing local bikers out of her backyard pool, Karen drained it and created the biker barrier. Of course, it's still in the design phase.
Oh, it's on a high.
Some ideas, like the external automobile selfie stick, are far better on paper than they are in practice.
It's fun.
We were just gonna chase you.
Thank you. Thank you.
His plan was to revolutionize the home exercise process, but all he ended up doing was revolutionizing his face. It isn't easy to create the next big dance craze that will sweep the planet. It is, however, easy to predict what they won't respond to. In couch surfing, it really isn't so much the skill of the surfer as it is the integrity of the couch. No one can predict what the next big thing will be. But if the next big thing happens to be falling or totally messing up, then the next big place to be is the Fail Army. Coming up, Jeremy confronts his fears face first. We have a new record breaker. Beware of monkeys. And we bow our heads and pay respect to those worthy of our Fail Army Medal of Honor. All this and so much more when Fail Army continues. Fail Army is back and ready for action. You unlock this door with a burst of determination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of trips. A dimension of falls. You're moving into a land of both failure and humiliation. You've just crossed over into the Fail Army Zone. Submitted for your approval, a man and a machine, a relationship rife with conflict, especially when the machine in question has a bit of a bad attitude.
Oh my god, it won't stop. He's not hitting you in the face.
Just slap me.
There is a place where chickens are far from helpless prey animals and instead exact revenge on humans that dare to mock them. She won't be mocking them again anytime soon, that's for sure. The patch of land had been enchanted with a spell that would cause anyone who had had an affair with the groom to stumble and fall. Looks like a couple people have some explaining to do. Originally, they were going to hire a stripper to deliver the surprise birthday greeting, but there was concern things might get too rowdy. So they went with the singing chicken instead. Looking back, how much damage could the stripper have caused? It would be the last time he would use shampoo that was made with real birdseed extract. Caused too many problems. He was doing just fine until the witch with the pretty nails cast her spell upon the tube.
My pretty nails. And me. Having some trouble there.
Beware the pretty nails.
I got that on camera.
The glass window provided a marvelous view, but they probably should have used thicker glass. Or lighter barbells. There is a place where all things seem to take a slight turn. From success to disaster. A place where all things are possible. A place called the Fail Army Zone. Somewhere along the Evolution Highway, we zigged and they zagged. And we have been zigging and zagging in each other's way ever since. In the monkey's defense, everyone she went to high school with always wanted to do this to her. They were just scared of her. Fred was ready to go treasure hunting when Mr. Chimpers helped himself to the treasure map. Fred now keeps his backpack securely zipped. Always feed a monkey with an open palm.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
You'll probably still get bit. But this is how you're supposed to do it. It was adorable. The way he ate the potato chips, he reminded them of their Uncle Reginald.
Stole the chips from me.
Uncle Reginald was a selfish jerk, too.
He stole the chip.
Okay.
At first, he thought the monkeys wanted to be his friends.
Oh my God.
No problem here.
Then, after the banana was gone, he realized they treated him just like his human friends did.
Are you kidding me?
Yep, they all over him.
I got crap all over me. That's what I was afraid of. Gosh.
As a grown man, Vincent would have a near crippling fear of monkeys that could all be traced back to this exact moment. It was not an irrational fear once you knew the backstory. Of all the dangers lurking in the jungle, beware the kayak jacker. They are heartless and brutal. Row, row like the wind. In the jungle, you seldom get a second chance. Sometimes it is hard to tell who has the upper hand. The monkeys or the humans. One thing is for sure, they both are welcome in the ranks of the Fail Army. Coming up, hi-ho, failure, away! A meeting of the minds, a test drive they won't forget, and we honor those that fail on a most monumental scale with our Fail Army Medal of Honor. All this and more when Fail Army continues. Fail Army is back and coming right at you. Give us 55 seconds and we will give you 15 amazing fails. That's right, it's 15 fails in 55 seconds. Fail Army presents 3 times when it is okay for a grown man to cry. When his brother borrows his car without asking. When he drops a barbell right on his foot. Yeah, he'll be limping and crying for a while.
What is this, alive?
It's still, look at it.
When he is confronted with his #1 fear in life.
God, I don't want to look at it. Please, can you make this go away? Please make it go away. Please make it go away.
It's not a mole, it's a dead rat.
Oh, God. It's a what?
I think it's a rat.
Oh, God, don't tell me that. Oh, God.
Yes, men are raised with the pretense that crying is a sign of weakness. But there are times when it's okay to cry.
No, God, I don't want to look at it. Please, can you make this go away?
Just as long as you don't mind being called a crybaby.
It's not a mole, it's a dead rat.
Oh, God.
For more of the funniest fails in the known universe, visit our Fail Army YouTube and Facebook pages. Coming up, the moment you have all been waiting for, the presentation of our Fail Army Medal of Honor, when Fail Army returns. Grab yourself a refreshing beverage because Fail Army is back. Few achieve true greatness in life. Even fewer are chosen to receive our Fail Army Medal of Honor. You can only enjoy the scenery for so long on a road trip before you feel the need to come up with a creative way to pass the time.
Keep going.
And what better way to pass the time than to see how many licorice whips you can get in a sleeping friend's mouth without waking them up. Wow, he must be really tired. I wonder what he's dreaming right now. Get a few in his glasses. The only surprise bigger than waking up with a mouthful of candy is waking up to find out you just earned yourself a Fail Army
13.
Medal of Honor.
We love you, Micah.
Come on, just jump in. Jump. Jump.
Crazy. I'm gonna get
No, it's not.
Ah, the Gambesi River. It has been known to separate the boys from the men.
You got it. Good.
Do a full twist and just flop in the seat. It's like a sea lion trying to get in a canoe.
And it is where Chris and Bill will discover that they are going to remain boys
Hold on to that.
I got it, man.
Oh my God!
for the foreseeable future.
Your hat, Charles, your hat's behind you.
Boys with a Fail Army Medal of Honor.
Your hat's out there, Charles.
The dream of selling out sports stadiums come true for only a select few. But that shouldn't stop you from living your own dream. Today, he may only be sweeping the steps. But with moves like these, it is only a matter of time before he is either playing sold-out arenas as well, or picking up his Fail Army Medal of Honor. You can call it a mistake, a misfortune, a whoopsie daisy. But we all know a fail is a fail is a fail. And it builds character. It also builds the ranks of the Fail Army. We'll see you next time.